Hi, today I wanted to talk about a built-in method in Python to catch errors. If you're programming in Python, you probably had many situations where you just get an error on the console and you don't know what to do with it. For example, if you're converting a user input into an integer when it's actually impossible to do so, Python is going to tell you can't do that. As you can see, I created a simple variable which takes user input and converts it into an integer. So if you tried it already, you should know what's going to happen. If you simply input a number as the prompt says, it's going to work and the program is going to end. However, if you would try to enter anything else than that, for example, a random string, you're going to get an error. And there's actually a way in Python how to deal with those errors, and it's using try and except blocks of code. Using this method, you're able to catch errors and then react to them accordingly. To create that block of code, you have to start by typing try, colon, and then all of the code in your try method has to be indented. I'm just going to add a print to print out our value after we enter it. And after your try block is ready, you should close it off with an except, colon after that, and also everything in our except has to be indented as well. So I'm just going to print out a short message saying we got an error. We can run our program. And as you can see, I can still enter a number. Let's just enter a number like it says, 2. It prints out 2. It works like intended. But what happens now when we actually enter a wrong value? I'm going to enter a random string again. Instead of Python throwing out an exception, we can see our message, which says invalid value, because we caught that error. However, as you can see, PyCharm is actually underlining our except command, and that is because this command is actually catching all of the possible errors that could ever happen. And that's just really not efficient, and it's bad practice to do so. So what you should actually do instead is catch specific errors. So for example, the one where you enter a wrong value is called value error. And now this program is going to only catch value errors. So if it would be a different kind of error, our message is not going to print out. Another type of error in Python would be division by 0. So if I try to make a value here, and let's say it's going to be 20 divided by 0. As you all probably know, you can't divide by 0, and the program is going to throw an exception. So if I start it, it's simply going to say 0 division error, division by 0, and it's not going to allow us to continue. However, you can use multiple excepts for different errors. So as you can see, this one is called 0 division error, and we can simply add it after the first one. We can run our program again, and as you can see, instead of an actual error, we get our message divided by 0. If I remove it now, you can see we can input a number. I'm going to input a string instead, and we get our invalid value message. Another thing you can actually do with except commands is you can store the actual error as a value. So for example, you can simply write except value error as, and then the name of the variable you want to save it as. So let's call it error. It's a shortcut for error and it's commonly used in Python. Now that you have assigned that error to a value, you can use it in text just like with any other variable. So instead of saying invalid value, we can actually just print out the error itself. If I type in a string, as you can see, it's going to say invalid literal. It's simply printing out the error. And this was the simplest way to catch errors in Python. And yeah, that's it. See ya.